My name is Bella. I've been the wildest woman by Jake's side for 10 years. But when he decided to get married, the bride wasn't me. Is she as wild as me? I asked. Jake shook his head. No. She's different from you. She's pure, innocent. Not like you, wild to the bone. I walked away without looking back. That same night, I slept with his best friend. Jake wanted to settle down. But the one he chose wasn't me. The night before our breakup, he fucked me like a madman, using every trick we'd perfected over the past decade. I knew his rhythm so well I could predict his next move. Good girl. He growled against my neck. Be your wildest self like before. When he finally collapsed, I rasped, what? Getting next month's quota done early? I'd never seen him this reckless in 10 years. Jake traced circles on my waist. Bella. You said you only wanted my body. Right? So if I leave you, it's not abandonment? His casual words stabbed my heart. When I was 19, thugs cornered me in an alley. He appeared like salvation. So innocent? But you've been eyeing my abs. He'd smirked. I'll never forget that look. Next day he pinned me in a karaoke bar restroom. Breathing heavily, look at me. Baby. Later he'd always ask why I stayed. Addicted to your body. I'd say. Addicted forever. He'd laugh. Cocky. After countless nights, I couldn't tell if I craved him or just his body. I stopped his wandering hands, forcing composure. Relax. You're good but not unforgettable. Jake studied our entwined fingers. Let's end this. Bella. I'm too old to play. Time to grow up. I froze. 10 years, I thought we were building forever. Turns out I was just his fuck buddy through reckless youth. Turning away, I blinked hard. Sure. I shrugged, reaching for my clothes. Jake pulled me back, carrying me to the shower like he'd done 1,000 times before. He gently washed me with careful motions. My family arranged a match with a girl who's perfect for marriage. So that was it. He'd changed. There was someone else now. I closed my eyes, forcing back tears. At 28, I refused to let him see my vulnerability. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction of thinking I couldn't live without him. 28-year-old Bella should have mastered composure by now. When I reopened my eyes, the mist had cleared. I smiled bitterly. Is she as wild as I am? Hadn't he always craved that? Young girls were so inexperienced, like I'd once been. He shook his head, voice detached. She's different. Pure. Innocent. Not like you. His gaze dropped to my collarbone. Seductive to the bone. My nails dug into my palms as I laughed harshly. Jake. You're ridiculous. My throat tightened. You're the one who sculpted me into this. Now you call me soiled? He'd stripped away my innocence himself, whispering nightly lessons, you're too reserved. But I prefer fire. Don't worry. I'll teach you. 10 years of tutorials, dorm rooms morphing to office couches, kitchen counters to car seats. He'd adored the dichotomy, saintly appearance, sinner's appetite. Yet now, pure and innocent became his weapon to brand me shameful. The metallic tang of blood bloomed in my mouth where I'd bitten my cheek. I stared at the love bites trailing my ribs. Pure. Innocent. Not like me. No more indulgence. Weren't these the very traits he'd cultivated? He'd molded his shy college sweetheart into this, a woman who'd drop everything to satisfy his whims. Now he wanted virtue? I burned to ask, weren't you the architect? To demand, what was I these 10 years? To scream, did my love mean nothing? But fear paralyzed me. Fear of hearing confirmation that our decade-long tango had been my solo performance. Silence stretched as he toweled me off, carrying me to bed like fragile china. His eyes darkened with renewed hunger, body pressing mine into the mattress. The phone's shrill ring froze him. His palm clamped over my mouth, warning flashing in his eyes. Jake? The girl's voice dripped honeyed weakness through the speaker. I have a fever. Could you come? His tenderness turned my stomach. Wait for me. Angel. I'm coming. That same good girl tone he'd used during our first trembling night, be good. Let me. The same excuse when I'd been ill, sweated out. Baby. He dressed hastily, never glancing back. The door's slam echoed through our hollowed-out history. For 10 years, this was the first time he'd ever walked away from desire. Jake left in a hurry, his unresolved hunger still simmering beneath the surface. After disappearing, my phone lit up with his messages. Need to stay with Lily these days. Won't be coming back. Pack your things. Let me know when you're done so I can change the locks. Make sure you take everything. Wouldn't want Lily finding your traces. Call me anytime unless it's about scratching that itch again. The bitterness rose in my throat. A decade. And somehow I still couldn't let go. What were we these past 10 years? I typed with trembling fingers. His reply came hours later. Bella. We're adults. This was always just mutual fun. You knew the deal. But, another notification blinked. We can still be friends. I laughed until tears blurred my screen. Friends? After I'd burned my 20s on his mutual fun? After trading my youth for we can still be friends? That night, the mansion's emptiness pressed against my skin as I curled on the leather couch. The starless sky mirrored that distant evening when I was 19, clutching textbooks while cutting through the alley behind campus to beat curfew. The flickering street lamp had died that night too, leaving only the 7-Eleven's neon glow. College girl? Wanna party with us? 6 bleached heads materialized from shadows. The ringleader grabbed my collar, popping buttons as I slammed against damp bricks. Don't touch me. My threat sounded pathetic even to me. I'll call the cops. Ooh. She's feisty. Goldie grinned at his crew. Just how I like em. His nicotine-stained fingers grazed my cheek when sudden headlights tore through the darkness. You fuckers got mirrors at home? 'Cause you sure lost your shame somewhere. The motorcycle's glare outlined a lean figure swinging off the seat. He moved with dangerous grace, shoulders rolling like a predator's. Goldie's cocky smirk vanished. Jake. Mr. Wilson. We were just messing around. Jake. My breath caught. The business school prodigy. The guy whose basketball practices we'd stalked just to watch sweat plaster his white tee against those abs. The one who made half the student body forget to breathe when he'd smirk after a dunk. Scram. They evaporated. As he stepped closer, the repaired streetlight finally revealed those mocking eyes and the onyx stud glinting in his left ear. 20-year-old Jake carried danger like cologne. Here. His leather jacket hit my face, still warm from his body and smelling of clove cigarettes. I fumbled with the buttons of my ruined blouse. Thank you. He closed the distance suddenly, backing me against the wall again. My spine hit cold brick as his breath ghosted over my ear. Next time. His low chuckle vibrated through me. Take the long way home. His palm pressed against the wall beside my ear, his breath grazing my burning earlobe as he leaned down. So shy? But you've been staring at my abs forever. My face flushed crimson. It was true, I'd secretly admired those sweat-slicked muscle lines whenever he played basketball. Never expecting to get caught red-handed. At the dorm mixer the next day, I hid in the karaoke booth corner shoving fruit into my mouth. The door swung open as Jake entered with his athlete friends. My watermelon cube slipped from the fork onto my skirt. Hey there, Bunny. He slid beside me, offering tissues. Nervous? Our fingertips brushed when I took them, electric sparks making me jerk back. His eyes gleamed dangerously under the mood lighting, that infuriating half-smirk playing on his lips. Pick a song. Let's hear you. He shoved the microphone into my trembling hands. My shaky rendition of some pop ballad turned molten when his baritone joined in, vibrating through my bones. My roommate's knowing looks made me wish for spontaneous combustion. The night blurred after too many cocktails. I remember cold bathroom tiles against my back, his whiskey-tinged kiss, and the command look at me. Sweetheart growled against my throat. After that, I fell hard. Campus alcoves became our kissing hideouts. My journal filled with JW doodles. My phone gallery bursting with stolen shots of his broad shoulders. That time he murmured "be good for me" against my collarbone. That afternoon he promised, "I'll ruin you for anyone else." 10 years transformed me from the girl who blushed at shoulder brushes to the woman who knew exactly how he liked his coffee and his foreplay. I waited patiently for the ring, imagining our future son inheriting his father's charm that made girls swoon. Laughing bitterly now, I admit it's pathetic to only taste one man in a lifetime. Still, I owe myself closure. The walk-in mirror reflects my final costume, pearl hairpins holding up demure waves. Another ivory sheath dress from the Young Family Approved collection. "White suits you best," Jake always said, rejecting my Dior red $9.99 lipstick for nude gloss. For the first time, I truly see the 28-year-old staring back, fuller lips, wiser eyes, a quiet magnetism my 19-year-old self lacked. I pull the hairpins, dark curls cascading down bare shoulders. From the closet depths emerges the crimson wrap dress my best friend Lin Xiao gifted 3 years ago. Its vibrant silk glowing like fresh blood against all that sterile white. Bella Young's manicured nail tapped against her champagne flute as the door swung open. The metallic click of 8-centimeter Louboutins echoed through the suddenly silent room. Silk whispered against her thighs with each calculated sway of her hips, a far cry from the pastel cardigans Jake used to praise. Jesus H. Christ. Ethan choked on his Macallan 18. Amber liquid sloshing over the crystal tumbler. His trademark smirk faltered at the sight of crimson lips curved in mockery rather than demure sweetness. The air thickened with the scent of Tom Ford Black Orchid as she leaned into Ethan's personal space. "Surprised, Ethan?" Her laughter carried the rasp of someone who'd practiced smoky allure in bathroom mirrors for weeks. "Or did you think I'd keep playing the blushing virgin forever?" Murmurs erupted like popped champagne corks among the hedge fund bros and trust fund babies. "That's Bella? The same Bella who used to bring Jake homemade cookies? Told you that librarian act was bullshit." Their gossip died mid-sentence when Leathersal's scuffed marble. Jake froze in the doorway, his grip tightening on the college sophomore clinging to his arm. The girl's pleated skirt and knee socks suddenly looked laughably juvenile against Bella's liquid mercury silhouette. "Jake." Bella drawled the single syllable like a challenge. Watching his Adam's apple bob. How many nights had she traced that vulnerable dip in his throat while whispering promises she'd believed? The sophomore's giggle shattered the tension. "Who's your friend? Jake?" "She looks old." Ethan snorted into his drink. 12 Rolexes glinted in anticipation around the room. Bella simply tilted her head. Blood-red nail tracing the slit in her dress. "Old enough to know what he likes between satin sheets. Sweetheart. Ask him about the birthmark on his." "Enough." Jake's bark cracked like a whip. His knuckles whitened around the girl's waist. But his pupils betrayed him, dark and dilated like they'd been during those stolen hours at the peninsula. Bella's stiletto stabbed the plush carpet as she closed the distance. Chanel N Degree 5 ward with the girl's cotton candy perfume. "Funny," she purred, fingertips brushing Jake's loosened tie. "This is the first time you've looked at me since Martha's Vineyard." The sophomore whimpered as Jake unconsciously leaned into the touch. Bella's smile turned lethal. She'd rehearsed this moment through tear-blurred mascara and empty wine bottles, every sway, every barb, every calculated reveal of skin that now held his gaze hostage. Ethan's chuckle broke the spell. "Well played, Bella. Though I'd have bet my portfolio you'd go full breakup ballad. Not, whatever this masterpiece is. Darling." Bella plucked the whiskey from his hand, lips staining the glass rim crimson. "Haven't you heard? Revenge looks better in La Perla than sweatpants." The room erupted in half-awed, half-terrified laughter. Jake flinched as if each chuckle were a shard of their shattered engagement piercing his skin. Bella let the silk strap slip from her shoulder, just enough to reveal the freckle he'd once sworn to memorize. In that heartbeat before chaos resumed, she saw it, the flicker of hunger beneath his fury. Perfect. Let him choke on regret between every sip of his precious Dalmore. The game had changed. No more demure smiles or handwritten love notes. Tonight, the Manhattan skyline would watch Bella burn brighter than all of Jake's lies combined. Jake's Adam's apple bobbed again. 5 full seconds passed before he choked out. "Bella." His tone suggested he was introducing a complete stranger. The girl bounced over to me. And I finally saw her face clearly. Those eyes. That smile, she was the spitting image of me at 19. The jasmine perfume wafting from her was Jake's favorite scent. I know you. She tilted her head with heartbreaking innocence. Jake says you're the sweetest. Always wearing white dresses like little flowers. Her fingers suddenly reached for my red cocktail dress. But you look so glamorous tonight. Like a movie star. Jake lunged forward, roughly yanking her hand back. His stormy eyes burned into me. Bella. His voice vibrated with suppressed rage. Who are you trying to seduce dressed like that? The pain tore through me like shrapnel. A decade together. And this was his assumption. Exactly. Since you dumped me. Shouldn't I dress to impress my next target? I retorted. Chin lifted defiantly. Jake barked a humorless laugh, suddenly pulling Lily against him. I get it. 10 years with me. And you want compensation. Name your price. The room went deathly quiet. Ethan casually swirled his whiskey. Watching. My hands trembled with fury. That's what you think of me? Consider it severance pay. Jake shrugged. Can't have you wasting your prime years. The word severance made my vision blur. 10 years reduced to a transaction. Across the VIP lounge. Ethan's gaze locked with mine. Before I could think, I stalked over and twisted my fingers in his silk tie. Are you free tonight? Jake's glass shattered on the marble floor. Ethan's lips curved as he murmured. Always. I led him out by the necktie. Jake's enraged roar chasing us. When he caught up in the hallway, I pressed closer to Ethan's rock-hard chest. Care to join us? Mr. Wilson? My scarlet nails traced Ethan's collarbone. Though you'll need permission. Before I could finish speaking, Jake's trembling voice cut me off. Do you have to degrade yourself like this? How laughable. I stared at this man who once cherished me like precious jade. The anguish in his eyes so genuine. Yet he'd pushed me away with equal conviction. Was he having regrets now? Just casual fun between adults. I smiled, pressing my lips against Ethan's neck. From my periphery, I saw Jake's knuckles whiten as his fists clenched. Mr. Wilson. What right do you have to ask? Jake's eyes burned crimson. Bella, the name tore from his throat like broken glass. He'd been the one to discard me. What was this tortured act supposed to mean? Curving my lips in mockery, I held his gaze. Jake. Let's not see each other again. Grabbing Ethan's tie, I strode forward. Jake moved to follow when Lily's saccharine voice floated behind us. Jake. She simpered. If you can't let go, chase after her. I'll understand. Predictably, Jake stayed rooted. My heart constricted briefly before hardening. What had I expected? That he'd choose me? As my grip slackened on Ethan's tie, his arm suddenly banded around my waist. Done using me already? His hot breath scorched my ear as he crushed me against his heaving chest. Behind us, Jake froze for half a heartbeat before roaring with rage. You knew she was? I know. Ethan effortlessly broke Jake's hold, sweeping me into his arms bridal style. You made your choice. Jake. Stick to it. His arms tightened possessively. She's mine now. I arched a brow, meeting his obsidian gaze. Unexpected tenderness shimmered there, making me squirm. Ethan. Put me down. This isn't. Behave. He murmured against my ear, lips grazing the sensitive lobe. The show's not over. Peering over his shoulder, I saw Jake statue still. Eyes bleeding crimson. Release me. I dug nails into Ethan's shoulders. He abruptly hoisted me higher, jolting a gasp as I scrambled to cling to his neck. You started this game, Miss Young. His low chuckle vibrated through me as he carried me toward the parking lot. The black Maybach smelled of cedarwood and power. Ethan deposited me in the passenger seat, leaning close to buckle my seatbelt. Through the rearview mirror, I watched Jake's silhouette shrink into darkness. Satisfied? Ethan freed 2 shirt buttons while steering with one hand, revealing my lipstick stain blooming across his collarbone. Heat flooded my cheeks. Seeing Jake suffer had sparked dark gratification. I stared out the window. Thanks for earlier. His derisive snort filled the car. Where's that bold little minx who seduced me? I preferred her. My pulse skyrocketed. This was supposed to be simple revenge. The whole point was to get back at Jake. I just wanted to see him angry. After a decade together. How dare he end things so casually? But hooking up with his best friend? That wasn't part of the plan. Ethan had been Jake's college roommate. I'd known him as long as I'd known Jake. Not as close. But still a friend after 10 years. Using him to provoke Jake was low. But my chest still burned with that initial rage when his Porsche screeched beside us at the stoplight. Ethan slammed the brakes suddenly, tearing off his tie before pinning me against the leather seat. He's catching up. Through the rearview mirror, I watched Jake's Audi swerve behind us. Ethan's calloused thumb traced my bottom lip. Want to make this more fun? His mouth crashed against mine as the passenger door flew open. Jake stood frozen in the winter air, his knuckles white on the doorframe. The moment he saw Ethan's tongue in my mouth, his face went sheet pale. Our 3 ragged breaths fogged the windows. Ethan nipped at my helix piercing. Choose. Push me away now. Or go with him. My fingers tangled in his dark hair as I kissed him harder. The deafening slam of Jake's door made me flinch. When Jake's taillights disappeared, I tried squirming free, only for Ethan to cage me tighter. His palm burned through my sweater, thumb pressing cruel against my bruised lips. Be my girlfriend. His voice cracked as teeth grazed my earlobe. Or let's get married tomorrow. Your call. The sharp bite to my ear made me gasp. But his sudden kiss on my forehead stole my breath. Know the fastest way to forget an ex? His whisper scorched my skin. Get a rebound. His hips pressed mine into the seat. I volunteer as tribute. A clean break? I wished. 10 years doesn't vanish overnight. I turned toward the window, catching our reflection, my mouth swollen. His hand fisted in my hair. Ethan gripped my chin. Eyes darker than I'd ever seen. Use me to hurt him then. His lips brushed my temple. Scream. Cry. Break things. When you're exhausted, his mouth found that spot below my ear. My arms are right here. The kiss tasted like whiskey and desperation. When I weakly pushed at his chest, murmuring not here, he carried me upstairs without breaking contact. My phone lit up repeatedly on the console, Jake's name burning brighter with each vibration. Not answering? Ethan glanced at the caller ID before snatching the phone and answering. Jake's frantic voice came through, Belle. Can we talk? Tomorrow. His words were cut off as Ethan crushed his lips against mine. I struggled to speak, but he cradled my head to deepen the kiss. Jake, Ethan panted into the receiver. She's, melting in my arms right now. Probably can't come to the phone. His fingers dug into my waist, drawing a whimper from me. Glass shattered violently through the speaker as Jake roared. I'll fucking kill you. Ethan. You lay one finger on her. Ethan pinned me to the couch, sneering at the phone. You dumped Bella. We're together now. Perfectly legit. He paused, voice hardening. And for the record? You never deserved her. The phone plopped into the fish tank, droplets clinging to my lashes. When he ripped off his shirt revealing defined abs, I expected confidence. Instead, sorry, he scrambled off me. Flushed crimson. Could we start over? I laughed incredulously. All that swagger and you're a virgin? Book smart. His ears burned scarlet. Just needed the right lab partner. So I'm your first? First. Last. Only. His earnest gaze held mine. If you'll have me. We became official next morning. Ethan morphed into a lovesick teenager, dragging me to amusement parks, giggling louder on carousels, insisting on cotton candy ice cream only to grimace at its sweetness. His social media overflowed with our photos, me sipping boba, us making duck faces, even my shadow marking my territory. He declared when I called him childish. The man learned fast. From awkward fumbling to keeping me bedridden by week 2. Top student. Huh? I teased. His lips brushed my ear, best teacher. Old habits died hard. I still reached for my phone at 3 a.m., staring at the dark screen where Jake's name used to glow. Now my lock screen showed Ethan cross-eyed on a Ferris wheel. Yesterday I caught myself humming his off-key shower ballad. Life without Jake felt lighter. Until the doorbell rang 1 month later. Jake? What brings you here? Ethan's voice carried upstairs. I froze mid-step seeing Jake and Lily in the foyer. Bella. Ethan called. Join us. I changed into a high-neck dress. Ethan's smirk at my outfit could have powered the grid. Jake dumped a bulging backpack on the coffee table. Came to return your things. Zippers rasped as he began unloading memories. When those lingerie pieces were spread out in the sunlight, my face burned crimson. Jake's move was truly vicious. Lily turned pale while Ethan remained impassive. I suddenly remembered how Jake used to lay out outfits before me, murmuring suggestively, "Which one should we try today?" Back then I'd eagerly choose. But now only nausea remained. He dumped me. Yet brought these to humiliate me? Or to make Ethan think I'm promiscuous? I scoffed. Just trash. Like their original owner. Should have tossed them. Jake's eyes flashed before he smirked. You misunderstand. Lily and I are getting married. We need closure for her peace of mind. So this wasn't just humiliation, he came to flaunt his engagement while Ethan and I are still dating. His pathetic attempt to prove he's never lacked options. Sadly, I only felt revulsion. Jake's gaze swept over Ethan. Bella. Your taste's pathetic. Think this twig can satisfy you? He pulled Lily closer. Stop clinging to the past. I'm taken now. Who's clinging? Ethan's stamina rivals his. And as for size, bringing Lily here probably means he misses my passion compared to her blandness. I kissed Ethan's jaw, whispering, let's try that new position tonight. Ethan gripped my waist. You're on. Slut. Jake spat. Ethan's voice turned glacial. I call you bro out of courtesy. Disrespect my fiancé again and you'll leave. Jake yanked Lily against him. Since we're family, we'll stay overnight. Ethan shrugged. Suit yourself. As the housekeeper led them to the guest wing, Ethan murmured. About that position, I traced his chest. I'll demonstrate later. They chose the room across from ours. Even mansions have thin walls. Lily's hoarse whisper carried. Jake. Why keep those things? Do you still love Belle? I paused. Eavesdropping. Ethan glared until I kissed him soundly. Jake's bitter laugh echoed. Love her? I kept them to remind Bella how shameless she was. She's only with Ethan to spite me. After 10 years together, I know she can't truly want him. Tonight ends this charade. Thuds against the wall commenced. Ethan's jaw tightened. I leapt into his arms, legs locking around his waist. Ethan. Carry me to the shower. That night, we were more reckless than ever. The next morning when Jake saw us coming downstairs together, his eyes bloodshot as he demanded. So you've been hooking up with Ethan all along? How long have I been wearing this cuckold's hat? His neck was covered with hickeys. How dare he confront me? When I stayed silent, he turned to Ethan. You actually slept with her? Ethan raised an eyebrow. We're dating. Is that so strange? Jake suddenly threw a wild punch at Ethan. They brawled across the living room while Lily sobbed hysterically, begging them to stop. I grabbed an ashtray and smashed it against Jake's head. Lily screamed. Jake clutched his bleeding scalp, staring at me with red-rimmed eyes. You hit me, for him. Obviously. Ethan was my boyfriend. Who else would I protect? I helped Ethan up, wincing at his split lip. Does it hurt? He grinned boyishly. A kiss would make it better. When I kissed him, his smile turned radiant. I glared at Jake. The door's there. Get out of our house. He looked shattered, blurting suddenly. Bella, if I called off the wedding, would you come back? I recoiled. Called off? Expecting free favors then? Turning to Lily, I warned. Better keep him on a tight leash. Don't let him freeload. Jake finally left, snarling over his shoulder. I fucking regret ever loving you. Same here. I regretted it too. When Ethan proposed, He said he'd never forgotten me in that white dress at school. Or how I'd taken his breath away in that private booth. He'd known it was me that night but approached anyway, gambling that I'd crave revenge. That I'd need a weapon. He handed himself to me willingly. The day I accepted Ethan's ring, Jake came storming in wild-eyed. Bella. I was wrong. He choked out. It wasn't you who couldn't live without me, it's me who can't live without you. Let's fix this. I smiled coolly. We broke up. Jake. You ended it. You think we can go back after what you did to me? What were those 10 years then? He demanded. Pathetic. He was parroting my old questions. We're not kids anymore. Jake. Consenting adults take what they want, you taught me that. I threw his own words back. But I didn't want friendship. I needed him gone forever. His presence poisoning me with memories of a decade spent groveling. Later, Lily made a huge scene when Jake refused to marry her. He grew cold toward the 19-year-old. Who couldn't handle the rejection. They eventually split. Smart girl, she saved herself from wasting 10 years. Ethan and I married when I turned 29. Those 10 years were youth. Growth. Memories. But Ethan is the future.